I've been told that our crowd extends all of the way down Whitehall. We are 105,000 people strong! Our God has extended the walls to the We rallied outside the Royal Courts of Justice, calling for zero-tolerance enforcement of the law against anti-Semitism, and we were 4,500 people. Just look today, as we stand 105,000 people strong. People have come here from every corner of the country. People have come on coaches from Manchester, from Leeds, Liverpool, Birmingham, Bristol, Bournemouth, Cardiff, and many others. I was just talking to someone who's come, got up this morning at 4 a.m. and headed up from Penzance. There are a huge number of people to thank for today. I'd like to thank the Council of Christians and Jews, Christian Action Against Anti-Semitism, all of the 8,000 people that signed the October Declaration, the Hindu Forum of Britain, the Persian community, the Kurdish community, the Israeli community, and we have so many different Jewish organizations that have joined together to lead to their success. And particularly I'd like to thank the Office of the Chief Rabbi, the Jewish Leadership Council, the United Synagogue, synagogues from the Federation, Masorti, Reform, Liberal, the Union of Jewish Unions, the Holocaust Educational Trust, the National Jewish Assembly, UJIA, JNF, and so many more. Thank you. We are today a proud people. Christians, Muslims, Jews, Buddhists, Hindus, Sikhs, humanists, atheists, we are people of all faiths and none, united. One united kingdom, united against anti-Semitism. We gather here against the dark powers. On the 7th of October, Hamas unleashed a wave of genocidal anti-Semitic terrorism. It unleashed the worst single anti-Semitic atrocity since the Holocaust. And while we here in Britain recoiled as the murders became apparent and prayed for the return of the hostages, we saw people on the streets of our cities celebrating and dancing. Since October 7th, anti-Semitic crime has surged in this country by over 1,000%. And as we saw yesterday, demonstrations marched through our cities, marched through our capital, where people glorify terrorism, where people incite racism against Jews, and indeed, as we saw yesterday, yet again, carry placards showing a Star of David thrown in the bin with a caption that says, "Please keep the world clean," messaging that would not have been out of place in 1930s Germany. It is appalling. to data. The Campaign Against Anti-Semitism is releasing today. 69% of British Jews now feel that they need to consider hiding their identity in public. 60% of British Jews have either personally witnessed an anti-Semitic incident or have friends who have, and a staggering and chilling 90% say that they avoid the center of town when these anti-Israel demonstrations are going on. Friends, we are both grateful and sad that in order to have today's march against anti-Semitism, we have had to have over 1,000 police officers standing guard over us. And friends, today has seen one of the largest ever deployments by the Community Security Trust. Let's thank them. Thank you. Friends, I'm grateful to all of the Campaign Against Anti-Semitism stewards, all the people across so many organizations, to make today a success. I have a little request, which is to that you must start moving forward. Please obey the instructions of the stewards, otherwise there will be a crowd control situation. Please stop moving forward. I am told that there is room around Parliament Square, however, if you would like to move in that direction. Friends, we are standing here today. We are here to say that someone act against hate before it's too late. Act against hate before it's too late. Act against hate before it's too late. The people who've gathered here today from every background, every part of the UK, give us hope. Today, we are able to light a beacon of solidarity whose light, to paraphrase Anne Frank, can both define and defy the darkness of anti-Semitism. To all of those in the Jewish community who have felt isolated or afraid, to those who have felt that they have lost sight of the Britain they know and love, the Britain that is famous the world over for the values of tolerance and decency, let this gathering today be the answer. This is the real Britain. Let the message ring forth from here in Parliament Square and all the way up Whitehall. We are one united kingdom, united against anti-Semitism. Friends, it is now my honour to introduce to speak on behalf of His Majesty's Government, Home Office Minister of State, the Right Honourable Robert Jenrick MP.
Friends, good evening. All 105,000 of you. It is a great honour to speak on behalf of the government this evening, to be invited to join, to march, to stand in solidarity with each and every one of you, to join this great civic march through London today. There is a Yiddish saying that words should be weighed, not counted. There are no speeches that we can give tonight. There are no words of comfort or solace that we on this stage can offer that can ever take away from the pain of what happened on the 7th of October. Tonight we mourn with those who mourn and we grieve with those who grieve. We pray for the hostages. We demand their immediate release. And your government will not rest. Know that your government will not rest until each and every one of them is back in the loving embrace of their families. And we stand with Israel. We stand with Israel and all who share her determination to eradicate evil from our hearts.
Maybe St. James is fine.
A nation's level of humanity can invariably be judged by its behavior towards its Jewish population. And as this great civic march assembled tonight in Parliament Square, we, the United Kingdom, are being tested. We are being judged. We're being tested and we're being found wanted with unbearable resurgence of unbridled anti-Semitism, a tenfold increase in anti-Semitic incidents. This is a stain on our country. It is moral decay. Enough is enough. The oldest form of racism, motivated by the two great enduring evils of ignorance and hatred, alive once again on the streets of our country, on our social media, in parts of our media, in our universities. And so as British Jews and many others have come here in recent weeks to march and to stand vigil against the terrorism of Hamas and for the hostages, always with quiet dignity, with poise, with resolve, in the face of hate and intimidation, never breaking their proud record of peaceful protest. We come here today in our tens of thousands, people of all faiths and none, people from every region of the United Kingdom and every nation of the United Kingdom. We come here today to stand in solidarity with the British Jewish community and to say loudly, with your voice, you are not alone. confront it with confidence. Confront the ideology that drives them. Defeat the ideas that warp minds. By standing for a bigger, a better, a broader, a more generous vision of our country. To belong here is to believe in certain things. Freedom of speech, freedom of worship, democracy, the rule of law, equality, decency and respect to each and every one of our fellow citizens. A strong society doesn't stand neutral. It believes in certain values, and it fights for those values. And that is what we are doing today. At stake are not just Jewish lives and the Jewish way of life, but the British way of life. That is why this challenge cannot be avoided. It can't be ducked. It can't be wished away. It is one that we must rise to and overcome. This government will do all we can to defend and protect the British Jewish community, to support the organisations that do so day in, day out, like the Community Security Trust.
Yes, I definitely.
To revoke the visas and expel the known anti-Semites, like we are doing.
I'm going to ask you a question, I already know the answer to it, but it's a leading question. Was you here yesterday? You were? Ah. Oh, no, I mean, I recorded Piers Corbyn. I don't know about COVID, is it? I'm like, what's this guy talking about? And you reckon the October stuff never happened? You reckon it's all paid actors? I'm like, how do you stand there and say that? Literally. And we can't deny it because I recorded it and say that.
There is one fundamental that we today must reclaim. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is the freedom from fear.
Can't you get down? I know, I mean the lady, can't you get down?
They are our friends. They are our neighbours. They are our colleagues. They are our kith and kin. You are interwoven into the web and the wall of our great nation. A Britain where British Jews are afraid is not Britain. A Britain where British people are afraid because of their religion or because of their origin is not Britain. So tonight we stand with the British Jewish community. Tonight we stand against anti-Semitism. And tomorrow and the day after, in each and every one of our lives, we will fight anti-Semitism. And we will build a bigger and better country that we can all be proud of.
Yes.
Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you for being here tonight.
Friends, it is now my honour to invite, on behalf of His Majesty's most loyal opposition, Labour Shadow Secretary of State, Peter Scarlett.
Thank you very much. I speak as a member of Labour, and also very proudly a Vice Chair of Labour Friends of Israel. I'm equally proud to be a close friend and a huge admirer of the British Jewish community. It is an honour for me to be here at such an important time as we all wait with deep anxiety for the release of further hostages. To be here to stand shoulder to shoulder with British Jews. It is a particularly significant honor to do so as a representative of Labour's front bench. After the most shameful year in my party's history, I am enormously proud of the leadership that the PSR has shown in challenging, combating anti-Semitism and but we cannot escape, and we must not ignore the tsunami of anti-Semitism that hit our country since October the 7th. Today, more than any other time, we stand with the Jewish people of Great Britain.
Which one to hold my hand?
We are as one, and we are united. So today from this platform we send a message that your community, this community, will never stand alone. And this community is admired up and down this land in its resilience, in its fortitude, and above all, in its values. At moments like this, politicians like myself, Roger Jenrick and the others who hear from, we're not here as Tarzan hooligans, but rather political representatives united against anti-Semitism.
Please have a poster if you haven't got one.
I'm the Member of Parliament for Causeway, a place with a vibrant Jewish community. Many are here today, and I'm pleased to be here with you. I know from conversations that I have locally that the last month and a half has shaken the community to its core. Genocidal chants, businesses and homes in this country graffitied, schools threatened. I know people are deeply fearful, dismayed, questioning their place in today's Britain. None of this is acceptable in our country. Parents should never have to fear sending their children to school. Business owners should never face death threats when all they're trying to do is make a living for themselves and their families. No one should face intimidation on public transport or on the streets because of who they are. None of this is any justification. None of this can become normal. In recent years, the world has rightly sought to confront how racism infects society and daily life. But all too often, racism against Jews gets forgotten. Indeed, racism against Jews gets ignored, or even worse, denied. But too often, Jews don't count. But our message today is clear. Jews must count. Anti-Jewish hatred must never, ever be tolerated in Britain. Today we stand united with a clear message to those who exploit events in the Middle East in order to threaten Jews in this country. You do not speak for Britain. This country stands shoulder to shoulder with the Jewish community. We must have zero tolerance for the world's oldest hatred, a poisonous ideology that has contorted and mutated throughout history. And to the Jewish community, we say this: we stand with you. We will speak up for you. We will work with you to defeat anti-Semitism in our country. This is my commitment to you today. It is a commitment that means when we say never again, we mean never again. Not on these streets, not on any streets, This is our pledge. This is our duty. We stand together. Thank you.
Thank you, Peter.
I think they made it unlawful for shouting the things.
Friends, it is now my honour, and please give a very warm welcome
Yesterday was the last one, but don't.
to the Chief Rabbi of the United Hebrew Congregations of Great Britain and the Commonwealth, Sir Ephraim Mervis.
I think they're
Since the 7th of October,
through laws to make
this is a different world. It's a world in which, tragically, we have seen all too clearly the dark forces of evil in our midst. Since the 7th of October,
I'm trying to.
Israel has been engaged in a war it did not ask for and it did not want. On my visit to Israel 2 weeks ago, I found a country united in its resolve to bring the hostages back home and to guarantee that we will see the end of Hamas terror. Since the 7th of October, we have discovered who our true friends are.
Yes, we are.
And isn't it so wonderful that we have so many truly outstanding friends who are standing shoulder to shoulder with British Jewry at this time? And to each and every one of you, we say thank you so very, very much. We are blessed to be living in a country with His Majesty the King, with the Prince of Wales, with the Prime Minister,
We went to
with the
Israel.
leader of the opposition, together with numerous other national leaders who all recognize that a threat to the Jews is a threat to our entire society. Since the 7th of October, the response of some to the war has been an explosion of hatred. But we know that hatred is never the answer. And so we declare together, as we stand here in the center of London, we will fight against anti-Semitism and we are against all forms of hatred. Since the 7th of October, some, tragically, and it pains me to say this, have celebrated the brutal terrorist acts of Hamas against Jews. And as we today witness the sad suffering of Palestinians in Gaza, while we recognize that the responsibility for this is Hamas, which has placed its own people as human shields in harm's way, nonetheless, every single loss of innocent life is a tragedy. Since the 7th of October, on the streets of London, we have heard the cries of jihad, of intifada, and the chant from the river to the sea, which amounts to a call for the destruction of the state of Israel. But today, as we stand on the very same streets of London, all we want is an end to the terror of Hamas, peace for all, and we say, with regard to our precious hostages, bring them home!
Bring them home! Bring them home! Bring them home! Bring them home! Bring them home! Bring them home!
Since the 7th of October, we have witnessed here in the UK an alarming rise of anti-Semitism, but we will not be intimidated. We call for a strengthening of community cohesion, and we will forever be proud to champion the finest of British values. So with regard to the poisonous spread of anti-Semitism, what should the response of the British people be? Number one, call it out when you see it. Number two, call it by what it really is, Jew hatred.
Yes, it is.
Number three, be vigilant. Report every incident. Number four, we must arrest every single perpetrator and bring every single one of them to justice. Number five, we must teach our children that the superheroes of our society are those who pursue peace and loving kindness, and not those who glorify violence
There's hardly any room in
and
front.
murder.
It really there is no.
And we must teach people that they must draw their conclusions from historical fact and not from what they see and hear on social media. In 1936, on the streets of London, in the Battle of Cable Street, a call was issued.
This is insane.
They shall not pass. At this very moment, in the streets of London, within our wonderful, tolerant, and decent country, our call is, United Kingdom, be united against anti-Semitism. Yesterday in synagogue, we read how Laban pursued with persecution after Jacob. Next Shabbat we will read about the murderous intentions of Esau against Jacob, and throughout this all, everything that Jacob wanted was just to live in peace with others. We, the descendants of Jacob, who was Israel, yearn for and pray for the same peace. And may God indeed bless us with peace.
There's nothing you can do about
And
it.
may
I
He
just have
bless
to.
all
I'm just
with
got another
peace.
panic attack.
עושה שלום במרומיו, הוא יעשה שלום עלינו, ועל כל ישראל, ואמרו אמן.
Don't let it grab me, that's the worst.
Right, go on. What's wrong with him? What's wrong?
Chief Rabbi Sir Ephraim Mervis, thank you.
Fucking ankles.
Friends, our
I
next
know, I
speaker,
suffer from panic attacks. And
I'm proud to say,
How's he got?
is Security Minister,
I said
the
that-
Right
I
Honourable
said the panic-
Lieutenant Colonel Tom Tuggenhad.
He needs to go. He's having a panic attack.
Yeah, yeah.
Thank you very much, Gideon. And thank you very much to all of you.
That way.
To think that here in London,
Thank you.
in 2023,
Hopefully.
we have to do this again. Will they never learn?
Thank you.
50 days ago, we all witnessed one of the most appalling problems,
It's insane in there.
the worst of this century. 50 days ago,
I had bad ankles and bad knees, and I also suffer from panic attacks. So
screaming
when people
silence
try to push past me,
of
it's
the
not great.
hostages and the
It's
agony
more that
of the
if
cries
I
of
can't
their
leave a
families.
place, it's worse. So,
Your laces, I don't want
yes, yeah, no,
We
yeah.
saw
I haven't done them up today
not
yet.
just a nation torn apart, but people around the world
And that woman is like, why did you let him out?
and feeling their pain and
The police
sharing their
officer.
suffering.
So we can't let people out.
But for 50 days, we have seen others celebrating that pain and reveling in that suffering. We have seen the rebirth, the re-emergence of the oldest king,
Is this the
that
exit?
has never
So
gone
people
away.
can fire.
For 50 days, we have heard
I don't think whoever did the risk assessment for this needs to be fired. No, because people, how are people to get? Because people, you know what people are like. People here will still try and get out first,
in the capital, so many
and that didn't help me with my anxiety.
so many ideas, and so many businesses. A country here that is giving opportunity, that is giving safety and salvation to many, many people from around the world. This is a city, this is a country where all colours, all creeds, all religions have been able to worship free and safe.
Have you heard of Piers Corbyn?
But in this
Jeremy
city,
Corbyn's brother.
yesterday
I
and in the weeks
I
just gone,
recorded him yesterday.
we have seen
saying
words
that
chanted
never happened.
that call for the
They're all paid
destruction
actors.
of the only Jewish state and the elimination of the Jewish people.
And then he went
We've
on about
seen others
COVID.
carrying
And
signs
even people that
that
were
echo
against this were saying,
the
shut the fucking
darkest
mouth.
propaganda.
very much.
It's a conspiracy nut job, literally.
And sadly, we've seen social media
I thought Jeremy Corbyn
echo
was
and multiply these words.
It's like he's got dementia.
The oldest hatred,
But then if he has
amplified
dementia,
by the newest means.
just hates it then. I guarantee Jeremy
We know
Corbyn
the
would
sad truth.
I will give Jeremy Corbyn a million quid, stand up there and fucking
Never
their family.
disappeared.
He wouldn't know.
It is a hatred that points,
Fucking cunt. Sorry, I swore.
that paints the innocent as guilty and the victim as criminal.
Don't think so.
But it is not just about one community or
But
one
if you go
people.
around this level,
The reality is,
you can go that way.
it is a warning. Hatred of Jews
No,
is the first
If you go
sign
that way,
that you're on
go
the
all the way
step
around towards London Eye.
to a worse future.
Not that way, this way.
It is the first path
Yeah, you just go
down the road
go
to
that
division,
way, turn right.
down the road to disunity, and down the road to blame.
You'll be quicker than going this way.
Because the warning of history is clear. Anti-Semitism shouldn't just be the
If it was anything
concern
like
of one
yesterday, 5
community.
o'clock.
It should be the concern of every community.
If I used a little salt more.
All
it
of
means
us
a lot. I
have the
don't
right
really know what
to
to
practice our culture and our faith freely. And if one of us is stopped, we are all silenced.
Excuse me. Excuse me. Do you know what time this finishes?
It's meant to be about 4 o'clock.
Oh, 4 o'clock. Okay.
That's why this is about.
Is there a dispersal order for section 2012 or whatever it is?
So proud to be
Is there a
able
section
to-
12 for here today?
We are here marching
There's a 35 in place.
as Brits,
There was yesterday, wasn't there? Is it section 12?
as Jews, as Christians, as Hindus, as Muslims, as Baha'is, as Jains. We've seen people of every faith, every colour, every creed, united in calling out the evil that we see too often on our screens. We're standing up for everyone's freedom. We're rejecting anti-Semitism because that's how you defend freedom of faith and freedom of expression for us all. This is a country that values decency, that seeks harmony, that champions respect. We do not tolerate bigotry or prejudice of any kind. We will not tolerate it against Jews today, and we will never tolerate anti-Semitism. So let's be clear. Anti-Semitism is not about Israel. It's not about Gaza. It's not about the Netherlands. The tragedy that we see unfolding around the world
is just another excuse exploited by racists who are trying to serve the world's order here. Over recent weeks, we've seen the police put in a very difficult position. We've seen them trying to keep order on our streets, when simply choosing to operate
It lasts no longer than 20 minutes.
that are not understood and not always heard, sometimes in other languages. And the police have been assiduously going through not just protests, but the footage online. And you will be pleased to hear well over 100 arrests. Well over 100 arrests have happened for incidents of hatred and anti-Semitism that occurred on our streets. We've dealt with all.
We don't have any of those.
Thank you, please. Now let me leave you by saying thank you to all of you. Because this country is an amazing country when we stand together. This United Kingdom has faced evil and fought anti-Semitism before. We have stood against hatred, and we have demonstrated that we will never tolerate fascism on our streets. By standing together today, shoulder to shoulder with British Jews, we demonstrate again that we are one united kingdom, united against anti-Semitism. Thank you very much.
Do you know what time it's Christmas?
Thank you, Security Minister Tom Tugendhat. And I'm now delighted to introduce you to Universities Minister Robert Halfon.
Hello everyone. What a very, very special day. A day in life I will never forget. In my office, the Department for Education, just around the corner, I have a picture of a very famous lady, a lady called Sophie Scholl. Sophie Scholl was someone who campaigned against anti-Semitism in the universities in North Germany. When I've heard what is going on the campuses in some of our universities, I've asked where are the Sophie Scholls today? Well, there were 105 Sophie Scholls standing in Whitehall this evening. 105,000 people standing against anti-Semitism. 105,000 people, Jewish and non-Jews, who say that enough is enough. They want to threaten Jewish students on campus, and we won't let them. They want to force Jewish students behind an invisible ghetto, and we won't let them. They want to take down Jewish schools, Jewish societies. They want to threaten Jewish chaplains on campus, but we won't let them. We will never let them. We will stand strong. And we as the government are going to look to introduce an anti-Semitism charter to give teeth to the IHRA, so that never again will students be feel fear or wearing a part or even just going about their lives. And for every international student, we're here for all. And as the Home Office Minister, as a chore will be thrown out of the country. And we are making it clear to the universities that we will not tolerate anti-Semitism on campus. And it isn't just about being reactive, it's about being proactive. And making sure that all our education, our schools, our universities are not just safe places, but happy places for British Jews. Never again, never again, never again. Never again will we allow what has happened to go on. I just want to end by saying that there was some student the other day. They were set up schools, and they were told to close it down. And I just want to
Wait, are you in one?
And I also remember Golda Meir's quote, and we should all remember this quote. Golda Meir said, "Pessimism is a luxury that no Jew can allow himself. Pessimism is a luxury that no Jew can allow himself." We will get through this. We will overcome anti-Semitism. We will remember this day in history. And we will defeat those who hate us. I always believe we must have the Today is the beginning of our renewal. Today is the end of fear. Today is the day when all Jews and those who value democracy and freedom say enough is enough, and we're not going to stand for it anymore. May God bless you all, and the campaign against anti-Semitism. Come Israel tonight.
And you are the helper. It is now a great pleasure to introduce a fearless campaigner against anti-Semitism, actress and playwright Tracy Ann Unruh.
Hello, can you hear me? So good to see so many people here today. It's incredible. I'm going to do a very quick speech, but I hope it speaks to you. My great-grandma came to England, escaping the violence of the pogroms. She called England the Golden Medina. You could live here as a Jew and no one wanted to kill you. She loved Britain. She loved British people. And I was brought up with tales of the solidarity that she the community of the East End, my grandma and my great uncle saw at the Battle of Cable Street in 1936, when the British Union of Fascists, led by Oswald Mosley, marched on the Jewish entity and said, "You are not welcome here." They stood on that day, expecting to be fully alone, and yet they were joined by the English working class, the dockers, the Irish working class, the Somalian sailors, the small Afro-Caribbean community, and ordinary heroes from all over Britain who came down to join them and say, "If you come for the Jews, you come for us all." Those were the stories that I was brought up with, that always made me feel that we were never alone. The late Rabbi Sachs always said that anti-Semitism, Jew hate, is not just about Jews. We are the canary in the coal mine. It's a sign of a sickness in society, and all other evils will follow. We've seen a frightening and swift rise in anti-Semitism, Jewish attacks on our children, not being able to go to school, wearing their blazers with a Jewish insignia or skull caps. Our children and ourselves advised to take off any sign of being Jewish. I have so many friends and neighbors and people who contact me on social media saying they will take their mezuzahs off their doors, that they feel frightened, they feel isolated and alone. But we are not alone. We are a successful and flourishing multi-ethnic and multi-faith capital city of a multi-ethnic and multi-faith country, a tolerant democracy where all racism,